A beautiful Tuesday afternoon to you out there, and welcome to OGTV News at 2. I am Okpeyemi Adewumi. Ogun State government has inaugurated a 21-man committee members to look into security challenges in schools and provide possible solutions towards safeguarding and protection of children in the state. The committee members on security and safeguarding are Alhaja Sekinat Ogunwolu as the chairman, while other members include Dr. Olubunmi Womiloju, Comrade Akim Lasisi, ACP Bolande Muritala, Mrs. Rashidat Bolujoko, Mr. Ganeo Ramoni, Mr. Tunde Kalejaye, Mr. S. Akimbo, Dr. Waid Olanloye, Mrs. Ogunkola. While committee members on child rights protection safeguarding are Mr. Oludari Shoriola, Mr. Olufemi Ayonuga, Mrs. R.B. Kadiri, Alhaja Sekinat Ogunwolu, Mrs. Aderonke Shodikpe, Mrs. Sarat Adedeji, Mr. Babatunde Julius, Mr. James Mafe, Mrs. Rashidat Bolujoko, Mr. Shegun Alade, and Comrade Oyelere Samson. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Bayomi Arigbabu, disclosed this during a strategic meeting with relevant stakeholders held at the conference room of the ministry. Said the meeting, which involved stakeholders such as the Ministry of Justice, Women Affairs and Social Development, security agencies, relevant agencies, and association under the Education Ministry, was held at the time where there are so many security challenges plaguing the country.
That all the stakeholders should actually be brought here for us to have discussion and to brainstorm, come out with things that will actually address these three main issues that we've talked about. That's why we have the principals general, the teachers general, then we have the anchors and of course, we have teacher service commission.
Submission, the Attorney General of the state, Mr. Akingbolaon Adeniran, reiterated that children's security cannot be overemphasized, as all hands must be on deck to ensure their safety and protection. In their separate addresses, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edward Ajogun, represented by ACP Operations Bolanle Muritala, and the Special Advisor to Governor on Security, AIG Olushola Subar, explained Safe Schools initiative as an integral part of community policing aimed at eradicating antisocial behavior, adding students and teachers should be given tips on self-defense and identify threatening conditions in a conducive learning environment, in such that training and learning are not distracted. Stakeholders in the education sector in the state have met to brainstorm on the use of digital resources to standardize and improve teaching and learning activities. While declaring open the Ogun State Teachers Digital Resource Cloud Project, stakeholders tagged digital classroom resources for Ogun State at Ministry's Conference Room, Okemoson, Abeokuta. The State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Bayomi Arigbabu, revealed that the government's intention was to empower all schools technologically. The Commissioner disclosed that technology would be employed and maximized in teaching and learning activities to help improve performances of learners and to also develop and empower teachers through modernized teaching.
Of course, we have never closed. The DigiClass is an example of that. You know, that's something about the DigiClass. If you say you want to do virtual teaching and learning in a society where people don't even have electricity regularly, that is one. Even if you now use generator, they don't have internet access. Then we can now use the power, and that is it, telecommunication and information technology, the telecommunication aspect, linking the virtual teaching you want to do, getting it across to people through the media, the electronic media, using the television.
The Special Advisor to the Governor on Primary and Secondary Education, Mrs. Ronke Shirombo, pointed out that the essence of the meeting was to have a clear progression in the education development, reviewing and realigning the academic plan, creation of digital resources for teachers and students. standardized the lessons plans for underperforming schools, amongst others. In their remarks, the board chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, Evangelist Olalekon Ifede, and the special advisor to the Governor on Technical Education, Professor Joseph Odemuyiwa, stressed that the use of technology would improve standard of education and also help modernize academic activities. The Ogun State Special COVID-19 Task Force has taken its enforcement on the use of face masks to public primary schools and tertiary institutions. Leading the team on the enforcement is the chairman, Dr. Toyin Taiwo, who met with the heads of these institutions on how best all the protocols can be observed and put to practice, as government would continue to frown at non-compliance. Bumi Adigun was on the task force train, and it completes the story.
The Ogun State Special COVID-19 Task Force has been on a mission enforcing COVID-19 guidelines as well as educating the people of Ogun State on the use of face masks for almost 2 months now. Mission primarily is to ensure COVID-19 pandemic curve is flattened, and the best way to achieve this is by observing the protocols, particularly the use of face masks. Although they might have apprehended some people who failed to abide by the rules and made them to carry out community service for hours, but this is only aimed at ensuring full compliance. They have gone around the state and they are back in schools in Abeokuta.
You know that students, by their age group, a lot of them are asymptomatic carrier. When they carry, they don't know they have it in their body, and the teacher and then their parents are at risk if they are having it and they are not showing the symptom. And that is why, at the instant of His Excellency, Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun MFR, the governor of the state, just because he cares about the citizen of the state.
What could only be achieved here is use of face masks, as social distancing may be difficult due to the population of most of the schools.
The issue of physical distancing is something that we still need to work upon. Bear in mind the population of the school. And there is no way, there is no immediate solution you can find to that. But we have our logistics in place so that in the near future, you will be able to achieve that social distancing.
Federal College of Education, Oshiele Abeokuta, was the next port of call, and the management was met holding a meeting. This made it the right platform to pass the message across.
Not only in academics, but in adhering to government directives. When the government said that we should put in place all COVID-19 instructions, we have tried our best to do that.
Perhaps you would notice that the team is not with the usual mobile court van. Sensitization at this level is improving. The level of compliance is increasing.
So it's very important that we let their teachers and the principals of the school know that it is very, very important for them to put it on, so that at least we can prevent putting other people at risk. Their parents, their teachers, their friends, and the society at large. That was one of the reasons why we have to go to schools.
Clubhouses and event centers will not be spared in the next move to flatten the curve of the pandemic, as Ogun State must be free from the spread of this second wave. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
Meanwhile, the Special COVID-19 Task Force has bossed an overcrowded house along Mercy Road in Abeokuta, where over 20 young children, boys and girls, live, claiming to be students of a coaching center. The act, according to the task force, violates the rule of COVID-19 protocols, and the acclaimed doctor, who is the director of the coaching center, has been arrested. Bumi Adigun completes the story again.
The more Ogun State government tries to flatten the curve of the pandemic that is taking the world by storm, some people are still jeopardizing the efforts of the government.
Okay, no problem.
This small building of just few rooms along Pansheka in Abeokuta harbors more than 20 students who claimed they are undergoing a coaching class with an unnamed group.
You don't have a choice. Is it using for business?
The man in charge of the house, Venerable Ebenezer Ogundeyi, said he had warned the director who rented the apartment from him of the number of people staying in the building.
And I reported to the sanitary inspectors. They said they had no business. So I have to look for the number, to contact the COVID-19. I have the list of 17 students, but as at now, and I've learned that there are 20 students, boys and girls. And I have warned the man who put them there, Dr. Rotimi, that you cannot put boys and girls together, and that COVID-19 doesn't allow you to put these students together. I've been making all efforts for the past 2 months to decongest this domain, to warn him to rent another place, but he will not.
The children who are unaware of the implication of the violation of COVID-19 protocols shared their experience.
Get them, I just stay in this room, okay? But he keeps asking more people to come. Why? And I don't know. Now we are 4-4. We are 18 now. We are not staying in the hostel. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I my complaint and I do my partnership, and I have all the necessary documents. But Daddy threatened me because I did not pay security money, and instead he invited you. And I tell you, why would I have a surveillance that is security my students? They will be paying for security. That's why
An acclaimed doctor is the director of this school.
I'm a PhD there. It's one toilet that is there. I myself do another toilet there. We bought tank. Yes, for that place to be convenient. We buy another tank there for water to be running.
Apart from the overcrowded room, which has more than the required people that should occupy it, the filthy environment is not also encouraging. The chairman of the task force, Dr. Tony Taiwo, who was not happy with the condition of the children, then ordered the arrest of the director. There was a message also to parents to ensure they monitor and check their awards in schools at least once in a month, as many of these children hide under so many mushroom institutions and low in standard coaching centers. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
The ruling All Progressive Congress APC is open to all well-meaning Nigerians to come and become members of the party in the ongoing membership registration and revalidation exercise. The secretary of the committee, Honorable Mutala Lamus, who stated this, applauded Ogun State for the support given to the committee for the success of the exercise. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro has more details.
The registration and revalidation exercise is to open up the ruling All Progressives Congress APC for more membership and reaffirming the membership of existing ones. The Membership Registration and Revalidation Committee appealed for cooperation and more support for the success of the exercise.
One, we call you to receive the various informations of membership registration and our registers of the second phase that we have given you out about 2 to 3 weeks back. After we verify and collect all those materials, then we'll think of giving you the next materials for the second batch of this exercise.
Thank you, guys. Congratulate you on the success of this process so far. We are very much encouraged by the output we've seen in the field, and we want to plead with you that we have another 2 weeks or so to go. Do the very best you can. The mantra of the party is to open up the process to everyone who cares to belong to our party. Do what you can to fulfill that.
The materials were distributed to the Local Government Transition Committee Chairman, Transition Committee Chairman of Odeda Local Government Area, who spoke on behalf of other chairmen, said the exercise has been a huge success in Ogun State.
The message we have for the public is that everybody that is interested in joining this our great party is welcome. the door is wide open, as directed by the National Secretary of the party, in which the committee and the local and the state have been doing a very wonderful one. So everybody is welcome. We welcome everybody to come to the party.
They all expressed the belief that with the registration exercise being done, the party will be in a vantage position to win the 2023 general elections. Tunde Olaniro, OGTV News.
Stay with us as we bring you more news story after this break. You're still watching OGTV News at 2. In commemoration of this year's World Consumer Rights Day, the Consumer Protection Advocacy Initiative Ogun State Chapter has held a press conference to create awareness on the havoc of plastic products in human health and the environment. Our reporter Adebola Oshomoji covered the press conference held at the State's Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, or Ibara, Abeokuta. Our reports.
Plastic is an essential material the world over. Sadly, its production and consumption has adverse effect on human health and the environment. To provide solutions to this menace, the Consumer Protection Agency Initiative Abeokuta organized a press conference in commemoration of this year's World Consumer Rights Day.
We are concerned about the environment because it is the backbone of our existence. And that is why we are taking this campaign very, very serious. And we want to take it to the doorstep of all Ogun indigenes doorstep.
During the deliberations, there were various submissions on this year's theme, tackling plastic pollution.
And there are facts about plastic pollution here underlisted. By 2050, possibly, it's an evolving thing. It's most likely to happen. It's not just a projection. It's a tendency. By 2050, it is estimated that there will be more plastics in the ocean than the fish you are consuming. Because the way we are using it now, the pollution is getting increased continuously.
Consumer Protection Advocacy Initiative is a non-governmental organization saddled with the responsibility of finding alternative ways in achieving friendly environment and to outrightly phase out the single use of plastics from the country. The organization has therefore called on government and critical stakeholders to rise to the challenge of plastic pollution. Adebola Oshomoji, OGTV News.
The Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, on Monday met with President Muhammadu Buhari. She was led to the meeting with the President by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, accompanied with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Godfrey Onyema, as well as the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Niyi Adebayo. The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and was also among those who attended the meeting. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Iweala, was in the State House, Abuja, to meet President Muhammadu Buhari. This is her first visit to Nigeria since she assumed office 2 weeks ago. She said she felt excited about our homecoming. She stated that the WTO has also set to support job creation among youth and encourage women entrepreneurs. According to the former Minister of Finance, the organization is already negotiating several agreements on e-commerce. The Ogun State House of Assembly will on Wednesday, March 17, 2021, hold a stakeholders forum on a bill titled HB number 450G 2020, the Animal Grazing and Cattle Ranch Establishment Law of Ogun State 2020, as well as HB number 44 OG 2020. The Community Development Association Law of Ogun State is to hold on the same day. According to the Clerk of the House, Mr. D.G. Adeyemo, the public hearing is meant to harness inputs and contributions of all relevant stakeholders with a view to having all-inclusive bills to stem the tides of farmers' herdsmen clashes through ranching system and certain legislative modalities for the operation of community development associations in the state. The venue of the Stakeholders Forum is the State House of Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta, commencing from 10 in the morning. All the stakeholders are enjoined to be seated by 9:30 a.m. prompt. And on the foreign scene, the government is pledging to reshape an outdated international system to better protect the UK's shifts, interests and values. A year-long review of post-Brexit's foreign and defense policy. New alliances should be formed as the UK shifts focus towards Indo-Pacific countries such as India, Japan and Australia, it says. The review also paves the way for an increase in nuclear warheads. Labour says the strategy will leave the UK woefully unprepared. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will later detail the results of the integrated review on security, defense, development and foreign policy, which the government says would address the challenges and opportunities the UK faces in a more competitive world. They would include a White House-style situation room built in the Cabinet Office, as well as a new counter-terrorism operations center intended to improve the speed of response to terrorist incidents. Vaccine safety experts from the World Health Organization, WHO, are meeting on Tuesday to review the Oxford-AstraZeneca jab after several European countries altered their rollouts. A number of cases of blood clots were reported in Europe and after the vaccine was administered, but the numbers are below the level expected in the general population. The UK medicine regulator and the WHO says there is no evidence of a link between the vaccine and the clots. The European Medicine Agency, the European Union Medicine Regulator, is also meeting on Tuesday. It is expected to issue its decision on the continued use of the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccination on Thursday. About 17 million people in the EU and the UK have received a dose of the vaccine, with fewer than 40 cases of blood clots reported as of last weekend, AstraZeneca said. And in the world of sports, former Nigerian midfielder Garba Lawal has urged the Super Eagles coach, Jonathan Rohr, to lead the team's attack with Iheanacho against the Squirrels of Benin and Crocodiles of Lesotho in the 2021 African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Lawal made the assertion on the back of Iheanacho's impressive hat-trick in Leicester City's 5-0 win over Sheffield United in the Premier League at the weekend. The former Atlanta Olympic gold medalist stated that Iheanacho's clinical attitude in front of the goal could be the best answer the team needs against Benin and Lesotho. To round up the news at 2, clarity is the key to effective leadership. What are your goals? Don't forget that you can also watch us live on this platform, Apple, Roku, Facebook and Android devices. You can also watch us live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live, or email at info@ogtv.com.ng. Many thanks for joining us on News at 2. Good afternoon.